Let's bring in Alex Little, a former federal prosecutor with a background in international law. And with a welcome to you, Alex. You heard Pete Williams pointing out there, it has to be in America's foreign policy interest to see the extradition process through. How is that determined?
Yes. Well, that normally is going to deal with an idea of reciprocity, the idea that we are going to be making lots of extradition requests. We probably make more extradition requests of other countries than any other country in the world. And so our foreign policy interest is often, normally, our desire to be able to get criminals from other places in the world when they run away there. So that's usually going to be the foreign policy interest. Here, there's a political interest. Amanda Knox is not a member of the military. She's not a U.S. official, so she doesn't implicate foreign policy interests in that way. But there certainly is a political component here, because being the individual who signs the paper to send her back, if that were to ever happen, is nothing a politician wants to be known for.
Yeah, and I'm curious, how does it work if someone, a foreign national, comes into our country, is found guilty of committing a murder, then they are sentenced under our laws and guidelines, and they serve out their time here, correct? I mean, so
Sure,
the same.
absolutely.
So there's an absolute parallel here.
There is. I mean, the more common parallel is somebody who commits a crime in the United States and who leaves to go to Europe, goes to Africa, goes to Asia, before we have an ability to arrest them. Then we're in the position of trying to get that person back over here. That happens all the time. There's an office in the Department of Justice that deals specifically with that issue, and we are often trying to get people extradited here. We've done it a lot in South America with some of these drug lords who are bringing in, hundreds and thousands of pounds of cocaine into the United States. And so it's certainly in our interest to keep those countries interested in sending their citizens back to us to be prosecuted. Italy and the United States have some history there, but...
Yeah, no, okay, well, go ahead with the history.
Well, I mean, the history is that we've had 2 incidents since 1998 with Italy where we basically said, no, we're not going to give you our citizens. One was when we had, in 1998, there was a disaster. Air Force pilots flew too low, clipped a wire, and killed 20 people in a gondola at an Italian ski resort. Those individuals were not sent back to Italy. And then recently, the 20 individuals who worked for the CIA who were convicted in Italy were never sent back to Italy to either stand trial or to serve out a sentence. So there has been some history with the United States and Italy that's not great. From the Italian perspective, they're surely upset about that.
Yeah.
But it does give, I think, the Knox folks some hope.
And just give me a quick assessment of public opinion and how much that sways a government in a case like this.
I think it would sway the government quite a bit. It's not going to sway the government in the process in the courtroom. That process is going to stay the same, but I think behind closed doors you may get some discussions between the Italians and the Americans who both of them decide that's in both of their interests for the Italians never to make a request, if this conviction is upheld, for them never to ask for her to be extradited back to Italy.
Okay, Alex Little, I'm sure we'll see you again because this case is a long way off from being completed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex.
It's bound to be the commercial